There we go. Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of I'll Hang Up and Listen, brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room with over 300 beers to choose from at 6 different Western New York locations. If you need a beer, make sure you make it a Fatty Beer. JJ Peterka is no longer a Buffalo Sabre. It's been rumored, it's been speculated, it's been, that horse has been getting beaten over and over and over and over and over again. And it looks like it has finally happened per Frank Saravelli. He is being traded to the Utah Mammoth. We are still waiting on the return, but the rumor has it right now that it could be a three-team trade where Buffalo is receiving 4th overall. One of the things that is being speculated right now is that Buffalo could be dealing with the New York Islanders as the third team, where Buffalo would be receiving the right-handed defenseman RFA Noah Dobson. Dobson is a very, very, very good young defenseman, up and coming. I'm going to bring up all of his stats right here in a moment, but honestly, I hope there's more to this deal because obviously JJ is just, he was our second leading scorer last season. Top line right winger, great 5-on-5. But obviously there has been a desperate need for a right-handed shot defenseman. Noah Dobson fits that mold. And you could finally close the book potentially on finding that defensive partner for Owen Power. And I don't know. We'll see. We're still waiting here for any type of announcement return. I have a few sources of my own that I'm texting right now that are close with both the Islanders and the Rangers. You probably know who they are, but I'm doing my best to find out what this return could be. But the rumor on Twitter right now is this could be a 3-team deal involving Noah Dobson. That also could be just nonsense, absolute nonsense. And we could be looking at something completely different. But you have to think that 4th overall could be in play or should be in play. My source did right now just say because my source did just say not sure where you got Dobson from. So maybe Noah Dobson isn't part of the deal. I don't know. I'm texting them back right now. Waiting to find out who this is. But what are you guys hoping to get in return for JJ Peterka? What is your ask here? I mean, I'm going to pull up the roster right now. You have to think that 4th overall is in play. It's being rumored right now that there is a 3rd team involved. That might have been the holdup per Frank's original tweet. We'll see here. I'm not too Islander, pull up their roster, who this could be. Alrighty, so looking at their roster, you would think that if you're trading away JJ Peterka, you're probably looking to fix the right side of your defense. They have players. I mean, not the Arcs. I'm sorry, the Mammoth. I'm so fixated on potentially getting Noah Dobson, even though it just kind of just got. All right, Utah Mammoth. Let's check out their roster here. Obviously, formerly the Arizona Coyotes. Let's see here. The guys have Nick Bukestad, Logan Cooley, Lawson Krause, Dylan Gunther, Clayton Keller. And then defensively, Ian Cole, Robert Bertozzo, Durzi is a name that I think a lot of people are potentially hoping could be a name that coming back. John Marino is another name. I think those are the two names specifically. Those are, and Michael Kesserling too. They have 3 solid right-handed shot defensemen in Sean Durzi, Michael Kesserling, and John Marino. We'll start with Michael Kesserling here. Last season, he was a +4 with 29 points, 7 goals. 6'5", a big guy, a tower. Obviously, he has the ability to score points. A great skater from South Carolina, USA born. John Marino. We'll get to John Marino. Also had a solid season. 35 games played, 14 points. Was a +1. A guy 6'1", 200 pounds. Born in northeastern Massachusetts. Another U.S.-born right-handed shot defenseman. And then last but not least, Sean Durzi. 30 games this past season, 11 points, 4 goals, a +4, 6'1", 196 points, born in Mississauga, Ontario. As we still continue to sit here and wait for an update on who potentially could be the return here. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. But as I'm being told right now, I'm not going to say a source, but potentially someone that might know. They're not sure where I'm getting the Noah Dobson name from. So maybe Noah Dobson isn't it. I don't know. But right here, we're going to go to the peanut gallery. More reasonable and competent. Give me Kesserling number 4 and Hayton for JJ number 9. Then flip Byram and 4 to the Isles for Dobson. I mean, I like that idea. From right now, from everything I'm seeing online, again, this isn't me reporting anything. Hearing the JJ Peterka is official deal to Utah is for Michael Kesserling and Josh Doan. 3 players, no picks. This is coming from Elliot Friedman. Okay. Yeah. Wow. All right. So Kesserling and Josh Doan is the return. Wow. Okay. If you guys give me a second here, I'm going to tweet that out. If you guys just give me a moment here. Trade. Wow. Wow. Michael Kesselring and Josh Doan. Huh. So I'm gonna bring up their numbers here momentarily, but that is the return per Elliot Friedman. Yeah, Michael Kesserling and Josh Doan. So pulling up Josh Doan's numbers, a right winger. He had 19 points in 51 games. He had 19 points in 51 games. 19 points in 51 games. 19 points in 51 games and was a -4. 19 points in 51 games. I was excited at the thought of Dobson. Are you fucking kidding me? Don't get me wrong. I like the idea of Kesserling, but that can't be. $19 points in 51 games for a guy who's going to score 90 points a season. 80 to 90. What a fucking joke, man. What a joke. You can't be serious with this. You trade. Again, this is one of the most talked about forwards on the trade market. Like, the most talked about one. Like, he's been the top of all the trade paperwork, all of them. Like, you have like 25 teams calling you on this guy. And that's the deal? That's the trade. That's the trade. Michael Kesserling and a fourth line player. Oh. Dude. How... Dude, it sucks so much being a fan of this fucking hockey team. Like, you developed this kid. You traded up into the second round. You developed him. Started in Rochester, comes into Buffalo, has a great first 3 years. Like, he's like the first player that wasn't like a high first round pick. Like, you went through the process of developing, and he's turned into a top line winger, a scoring winger. And he's only 23 years old. And that's the return. That's the return. Like, how is that even humanly possible? Michael Kesserling and Josh Doan. How do you not walk away with the 4th overall pick in this deal? Like how? How? Michael, 19 points in 51 games for a player who, on a good team, is an 80 to 90 point player every season. He had 60 points this year for us with a dog shit power play. He wasn't scoring, getting like. Oh God! Sell the team. Sell the team. How is that the return? Like, how is that the return? Yeah, I mean, is it official? As of right, it was just tweeted by Elliot Friedman. Haven't seen anything from the teams in general. I haven't checked, but dude. fucking hate rooting for this hockey team, dude. I really do. I mean, 15 years. Just write it up. 15 years, dude. 15 years. You just dealt away in terms of what you. I mean, obviously there's Bowen Byram still, but he was your biggest trade piece. JJ Peterka was your best trade piece. Man, dude. I almost want to call for fans to go on the KeyBank Center tomorrow. Like a legit, picketing of the arena. Not violently, but what the fuck was that, dude? You should have just kept him. You should have just kept him. How do you justify? How the hell do you justify that return? That's disgusting, man. Absolutely disgusting. Might as well tank. Might as well fucking tank and go all in for. Let's do it. Tank 2.0. Who cares? Let's put it through it again. I don't even care anymore. I'm not going to go to a fucking single game next year. I can't do this shit anymore, man. You pour your heart and your soul into this stuff. I want to find optimism in this trade. If we're talking fourth overall, getting fourth overall for Peterka straight up 1-for-1, that is a better deal. That's better than whatever this is. But hey, we got Shane Doan's son. Cool. Cool. Awesome. And yeah, think about Alex Tuck here. Why would Alex Tuck want to stick around for this? And per Pierre LeBrun, JJ Peterka has already agreed to sign an extension with Utah. Unbelievable, man. Constantly getting stepped on and taken advantage of. Josh fucking Doan, man. 19 points in 51 games. Josh Doan is part of this return. How do you have a job, Kevyn Adams? Dude, I have no words for this. I just don't. I see analytics accounts tweeting out, "Oh, Josh Doan was second on the team on Utah and expected a goal." I don't give a flying fuck. He had 19 points in 51 games, bro. Can we stop it with that? Just stop. My phone's blowing up right now. Blowing up. Just people freaking out. My group chats, everything. Just. Wow. Not even a single draft pick involved. Like, what's there to talk about? Like, don't get me wrong, dude. Michael Kesserling is a solid defenseman, but he's not. The value isn't remotely close. It just isn't. You should have just dragged this out. You should have just dragged this out. You held the leverage here. How is this the best trade you had on the table? How is this the best deal? I never thought you were going to. I always said you were going to. I always felt you were in a JJ Peterka trade that you were never going to really get the best player back, but you can get a couple guys back to fill the holes and like JJ. You could have did JJ Peterka and Bowen Byram, like just throwing this out there to the Rangers for for Schneider and Coyle, like that would have been a trade that made sense. From Mike Harrington, when I asked Kevyn Adams on Tuesday if Peterka had asked for a trade and he wouldn't answer, that said a lot. To already have agreed on an extension shows he was done with the Sabres, another massive indictment of the organization. Yeah, Mike, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt. This is bad. This is about as bad as it gets. You know, you don't think it could have gotten better, or like you never say it can't get worse in Buffalo when it comes to Buffalo sports teams, because they always find a way to make it worse, and this is awful. This is awful. I don't know. I'm trying to find, like, I guess, analytics. I want to pull up Greg Wyshynski's Twitter here just to see what he thinks, because he's on the show with us tomorrow. Josh Doan being traded is a more, this isn't Arizona anymore moment than renaming the team. Yep, you would be correct, sir. Wow. Like that's just the word, right? Wow. Wow. How is that the trade? How is that the deal? Like, you better, like, mm. I mean, I'm trying to. Her evolving hot. Kesserling was 8th and 2nd among their defense, and I guess expected goals for when he was on the ice. This is from 23 Sabres. Value-wise, the deal sucks, but also not sure there was a winning situation trading JJ besides avoiding a bigger contract than necessary. I really like Kesserling. Don't know a ton about Doan, but looks like an okay guy. What can you do? Nobody wants to play here. But, like, how is that the only deal on the table? Like, how much of an indictment is this about Kevin Adams and how horrible of a GM he is and how people just take advantage of him? Oh, God. I really don't know anymore. I don't know. There better be something big planned for the Bowen Byram trade, or there better be something big planned for free agency, or with that 9th overall pick. because I don't know, man. I really don't. This is awful. This is awful. There's no, like, you could try and sugarcoat it and find optimism however you want, but this is about as bad as it gets. Like, when I heard he was traded and you hear Utah, I named the names to start. You know, Sean Durzi would have been great. You know, Marino would have been good. You know, I like Kesserling. He's a good, solid defenseman, but he wasn't their best defenseman. My opinion. Man, this is about as bad as it gets, dude. And I'm Alex Tuck. Alex Tuck, what is he thinking in this moment? What is Alex Tuck thinking right now? Knowing that, like, he is supposed to be a priority and you want to bring that guy, you know, you want him to be part of the solution. I don't know. Sabres trade JJ Peterka for Michael Kesserling and Josh Doan. $51 games. In 51 games. Unbelievable. Fucking believable. I mean, guys, give me a second here. I'm just doing the show and also producing on Twitter because normally I have somebody else to do that, but, you know, here we are. I mean, how do you guys, I like, obviously these are your initial reactions. I remember when the Eichel trade announced and I wasn't that happy about it. And Alex Tuck, you knew Alex Tuck was kind of local, but, like, you're not sure, you know, what type of an impact player is going to be. And obviously that worked out in our favor. Obviously we didn't win the trade. It was reversed. We were more happy about Krebs than we were about Tuck. And then obviously it ended up being the other way around. Tuck ended up being the better player in the deal. And you got a first round pick, a part of that as well. But, like, this is so bad. And he's joining a really, really, really young and a bright Utah team with some good talent. And he's going to fit in right in there. And like Mike Harrington said, man, this is such an indictment about this organization. How, you know, Kevin Adams gave a non-answer when asked about JJ Peterka, you know, if he had requested a trade, you know, not answering the question outright. And then on top of that, just kind of going on this, like, obnoxious, like, tirade about the media and how he's sick and tired of the misinformation. Well, clearly, man, I mean, was this all cloak and daggers? Was your little tirade cloak and daggers because you knew this was coming down the pipe? I mean, I don't know anymore, man. This is bad. This is about as bad as it gets. And I'm not kidding either. If fans wanted to go down and riot at KeyBank Center tomorrow, I do not blame them at all. I mean, how can you blame them? It's just being a fan of the Sabres is just constantly driving by the same fucking car wreck time time and time and time and time and time again. And like, what sucks is, and yeah, you can blame me for this and all that, but like, you know, you commit so much time and emotion and money to something like I have over the years with this hockey team. And the payoff is just never there. Where's the payoff? Michael Kesserling and Josh Doan. That's the return. That is the return. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I don't really know what to think anymore because it's just... Here we go. Here we go. There we go.
If I'm being honest, like, I feel bad for our fans.
Couldn't say it better, Kevin. Couldn't say it better. I do feel bad for us. How can you not feel bad for us? Like, you know, we got Peter Brady here in the chat, and I appreciate you guys all coming in. I don't think the trade is quite as lopsided as people are making it out to be. He's definitely the best player here, assuming Josh Doan learns to shoot the puck. He's got a good ceiling. Kesselring is also decent and huge. I understand that. I totally get that. But this couldn't have been the only deal on the table. If this was the deal on the table, then you don't make the trade and you hold off. I mean, what happened with JJ Peterka where he felt that he was so in such a bad spot in here? He was given top line minutes. You know, find the other team in the league that was going to give him the opportunities that he had here in Buffalo. Who was giving him those opportunities? Who was giving him the same opportunities that we gave him? Who? Nobody. Nobody. Very few teams, if anyone. And I mean, is he a top line winger in Utah? I mean, I don't know. Probably, maybe. But he definitely was here. Definitely was here. You lost this trade. You better be going all in on Mitch Marner, man. If you're not paying that big contract now to JJ Peterka and you have all this cap space, you better be bracking up a Brinks truck for Mitch Marner. And Alex Tuck, you better pay him. You have to keep Alex Tuck. You can't lose him. You just can't. It's going to be a fun conversation tomorrow at noon with Greg Wyshynski. Should be fun. Can't wait. I know a ton of comments here in the chat. I know I haven't gotten to a lot of you, and I'm sorry. It's just, and I'll rip through some of them right now, and none of them are good. Like 99% of them are awful. Let's go. We have life. No, Mike, this isn't a good deal. Yeah, they're all bad. Crazy that we made this trade announcement at midnight. Like, is Kevin doing desperate late night drunk trading? I can't believe Wow, Fred. Okay. Research the kid before shitting on him. I'm supposed to 19 points in 51 games compared to a 68-point winger, a first-line winger, and a fourth-line winger. Maybe third. In a JJ Peterka trade, you were always probably getting a right-handed shot defenseman back. And I like Kesselring. I do. But I don't give a shit what his expected goals for is. I don't care about his analytics. He is a third line, borderline fourth line player. We don't need any more of those guys. We don't. Opportunity for what? Soul-crushing culture, 13-game losing streaks. No teammate will stick up for cheap shots and blowing 3, 4, 5 goal leads. I don't know anymore. You got to swing for the fences here with Byram. JJ Peterka has already signed his extension. $7.7 million for 5 years. $7.7 for 5 years. That's how badly I guess he wanted out of Buffalo. Unbelievable, man. Absolutely unbelievable. And I am absolutely floored at all of this. Man, this is awful. This is awful. Doesn't feel good to be a Sabres fan right now. Has already signed his extension with Utah. 5-year deal. $7.7 million. Yeah. Must be cool to be a Utah fan. Man, you remember like when this team was so much fun? When you got out of school and you were making plans to go watch the Sabres, where were you watching the game? You know, who are you watching it with? What bar are you going to? What are you wearing? Which player's jersey are you wearing? You could play that fucking. I hate bringing up the rant, man. You could play it tomorrow morning on the radio. You could play that thing tomorrow morning on the radio, and it would be just as relevant today as it was then. Brought Buddha, baby. I hate this team so much. Yep. And I don't know what to think anymore. Ennis, remember that Ennis goal, OT goal in the playoffs? Thinking back to the Briere and Drury years, my favorite teams were always the late 90s teams, 96, 97 Sabres. Hardest working team in hockey. We got Shane Doan's kid in this deal. And let's again, if we're going to try and be optimistic, you want me to learn about the player? Okay, sure. Learn about the player. Let's take a look at Josh Doan's career so far in the NHL. 2 years, 28 total points in 62 games, and he's a +4. And hey, maybe he turns out to be a serviceable bottom 6 guy. Sure, you hope so. You hope so. But that's just not a good enough of a return for JJ Peterka. And listen, I'll get into more of the deep dive into the players tomorrow with Greg Wyshynski. Again, this is just like kind of like my immediate reaction, my gut reaction that this is bad. As I can tell from the chat, Twitter, people are up in arms, and I just don't understand how this was the trade. Like, how is this the move? Like, of all the moves you could have made, how was this the deal? Like, I don't understand that. Like, how? From intern Joey, the Sabres are a development team for the NHL, and here's their league step-by-step guide on how to do so. Number 1, draft player. Number 2, develop player. Number 3, trade player for bad return. Number 4, player thrives with new team and wins Stanley Cup. Number 5, I feel bad for our fans. Hashtag Saberhood. I forgot that was the Sabres hashtag, Saberhood. I was using Let's Go Buffalo earlier. I remember, man, going, not be able to turn a corner without seeing somebody wearing a blue and gold or a goat head or every couple side streets you walk down, there's kids playing street hockey. This city used to be such a passionate hockey town, and it still is. But this franchise, and I literally had a conversation. Who was it with? Obviously I helped run FHL this summer, Bay Hockey League, and I was talking with someone yesterday on the phone, after talking about FHL, stuff we were getting ready to do. And, we were talking about how, you kind of look at the local like the kids who play hockey these days. And, Nick is kind of always upset when he sees like the World Junior rosters come out and that you don't really see much representation from Western upstate New York, and how depressing it is for a guy like him. And a big part of that, man, is this team and just their inability to strike that same emotion with these new younger generations that they did with us, with my generation and the generation after me. The ability to turn just a kid looking for an identity when it comes to sports. Like, what do you want to, like, I started playing hockey because of the Sabres. They were a big part of my identity growing up. And I feel so bad for these younger generations that have no clue what it's like to have a winning hockey team. And to see what winning hockey looks like and exciting hockey looks like. And I think back to those days, man, and I remember my senior dinner. There's a picture somewhere underneath the glass on my podcasting table here. At my senior dinner, I have a picture of me and my mom, and I'm wearing my very first, I'll pull it up right here. Here it is. Not that anybody cares. But the picture of me and my mom at my senior dinner. May she rest in peace. But there I am. Look at that hair. Look at that flow. Kind of hard to see with the light, my backlight, but there we are. Senior dinner. Pat LaFontaine jersey. That night, the Sabres lost in Game 7 to Carolina on that night. And I remember when people, people won valedictorian or whatever, giving like their speeches, and people won awards. Like, we were all crowded because we were underage and we couldn't be in the bar. So we were all crowded outside the bar, watching the TV, watching the game, and that's how much hockey meant to my generation. And it's just like, I feel so bad for these kids, man, because you used to never see them wearing jerseys of players from other teams, like the McDavid jerseys or the Ovechkin jerseys or the Connor Bedard, whoever it is, the non-Sabres players. You used to never see that when I was growing up. It was always a Sabres sweater. And you just don't get that anymore. And this is why. It's shit like this is why. How can you expect to sell this team to new generations of Sabres fans or new generations of potential Sabres fans when you make moves like this? And like, dude, like, I get it. Like, I get it. This is awful. This is so bad. I mean, if you're gonna try and find optimism, I mean, I guess Josh Doan is a guy who will stick up for teammates. You know, I remember there was a hit. I remember highly about like hit. I forget who it was. There was a hit on Clayton Keller. I forget who Josh Doan went after though. Want to say it was like Ratko Gudas. I'm gonna do my best to find optimism in all this, but it's gonna be tough too. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna hang up and listen. I'm gonna go to bed. It is 12:23 in the morning. Been live for almost an hour. And I'm going to be on live tomorrow at noon with Greg Wyshynski, so please make sure you tune in. I don't know. So, listen, I'll see you tomorrow, guys. You guys tomorrow at noon. I have some stuff to do for FHL right now. But Sabres trade JJ Peterka for Michael Kesselring and Josh Doan. My immediate reaction, like I said multiple times, is this is awful. And you just continuously gut punch Sabres fans with stuff like this. But I'll try and find some optimism. And I am hoping that this is just them clearing, did not wanting to pay Peterka almost $8 million a year to be a part of it. This is maybe they plan on making a big run at some big names in free agency. Maybe this is oh my God. I can't even get like optimism out of my mouth. Like I just can't. Josh Doan is a bottom six guy, plays a heavy game. The more I read into him, some people I see are saying that if he can find his shot, he can be a productive player. Obviously, Kesselring is the top 4 right-handed defenseman you were looking for. The return just needs to be better. It just needs to be a better GM gets a better return. Plain and simple. This isn't just like an indictment on the team. This is an indictment on Kevyn Adams' ability to get a good deal done. It's all it is, man. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'll talk to you tomorrow at noon. I'll be joined by Greg Wyshynski from ESPN. If you enjoy this content I know I've been really just nothing but a stick in the mud, negative Nancy here, but this is not what I was expecting. Just gonna try and be optimistic here. But yeah, we'll talk to you tomorrow. And again, if you enjoyed this content, please make sure you follow us. We're on Twitter, Instagram at 2 Goalies 1 Mike. You can find me at Twinus39. Find us at 2 Goalies 1 Mike on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, as always, if you're watching along on YouTube, please hammer the like button. Helps us a lot with that algorithm. Help us out. And make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell icon so you know when we go live. Be live tomorrow at noon with Greg Wyshynski. Go Sabres, man. I guess. Talk to you later.